First tonight, starting today, fully vaccinated Canadians and permanent residents returning to Canada will see a big change at the border. No more quarantine requirement if they meet certain conditions. This narrow reopening is seen as a first step toward a broader easing of travel restrictions. Sanjay Maru has the details.
I feel relieved knowing that I can just come and me personally, I don't have to quarantine.
Since the start of this pandemic, Hassan Bandia has been unable to see his family in Canada, whether it be due to changing jobs in different U.S. cities or mandatory quarantine requirements. But now he's in Chicago, less than 5 hours from his family in Comber, Ontario, and the relaxed rules mean more freedom to see his parents.
Definitely makes my decision making a lot easier.
As of today, Bandia is allowed to enter Canada without having to quarantine, but not everyone can do so. Just Canadian citizens, permanent residents, and anyone else already eligible to enter. To qualify, you need to have received a vaccine approved in Canada. The second dose, or a single dose of Johnson & Johnson, has to be administered 14 days prior to arrival at the border. You need to show proof of vaccination through the ArriveCan app or website, plus a negative COVID test both before and upon arrival, which must be less than 3 days old.
Before, all we talked about was COVID risk, but now that we've been able to defang the virus with vaccines, these vaccines are wonderful, we can now bring in a risk trade-off.
This infectious disease physician says easing border restrictions makes sense now more than ever, pointing to rising vaccination rates.
We now know that bringing in travelers is going to be able to be done because the illness is not as severe.
Currently, restrictions on non-essential travel between the Canada-U.S. border are set to expire July 21st. But until then, the Ontario government says it's going to coordinate with Ottawa when it comes to a full reopening plan.
We're working closely with the federal government, and we'll take a look at it when it rolls around on July the 21st. So let's all work together and let's do everything we can to get things back to normal.
And for those living across the border with family here, they're eager for a full reopening. In the meantime, today's lifting of some restrictions is seen as a cautious approach toward just that.
That's a huge barrier that's been taken away, where we can kind of finally get back to a normal life pre-pandemic.
Sanjay Maru, CBC News, Windsor.